Hello, welcome to another video, and this tutorial is for a super cute bubble ring. Jumping right into what we will be using to create this ring, we have first of all our 20 gauge silver plated copper wire. Then we will be using a ring mandrel in the size of your choice, a ruler, and a file. For our pliers, we will have the nylon jaw pliers, a pair of wire cutters, our chain nose pliers, and round nose pliers. Now to begin the ring, we are going to take a length of wire and pull it out from the coil and smooth it down with the nylon jaw pliers. Then grabbing our ruler, we are going to measure the wire on the ruler at 6 inches. Marking the wire by slightly bending it over at the 6-inch mark, we are then going to use our round nose pliers and basically fold the wire in half. Having bent the wire in half, we are then going to draw our fingers down to where that end is and use our wire cutters to snip off that long end of wire. We are then going to place that bend in the wire at the very base of our round nose pliers, crisscrossing the wires to create a circle, and then flipping and rotating the wire to place it back onto the pliers. We are going to bring the wire down and around and crisscrossing it in the same manner. If you cross the left over the right in the first circle, then repeat that with the next and all the way down the row. We always want to cross our wires in the same direction, left over right or right over left, depending on which way you start. Now we're going to repeat this process, crossing the wires back and forth and creating these loops until it's long enough for the size of ring that we are making. For a size 7 ring, I gave myself plenty of wire. I have 6 inches doubled, so I have a total of about 12 inches of wire. Now having this much wire is going to leave me with excess, but remember when creating wire jewelry, it's always better to have too much wire that you need to cut off than to not have enough and have to start all over again. So with all of that said, I wasn't sure how much wire I would need exactly for the size of ring I'm making in this pattern. So I gave myself extra room to make sure I had enough leeway to create a longer pattern if I needed to, or if I have too much, I'll be able to use this wire for another project. That's one cool thing about wire jewelry, is that often you can use the scraps from one pattern to create another smaller design. Once we have the length that we need, we are going to hold the wire in our round nose pliers, and using the nylon jaw pliers, we're just going to squeeze and shape the circles a little bit. Now you don't have to do this, but I'm going to bend the ends of my wire out just to have them pointing straight out before I place our design onto the ring mandrel to see where we are at with the size. Placing the wire onto the ring mandrel, we can now see that I definitely have an excess of wire. Holding the wire firmly on the ring mandrel, we are going to now measure how much we actually do need. We need to leave a little bit of extra wire to create the closure of the ring, but anything else we will now clip off. Now because I clipped off the wire where we had already created a circle, we're going to work with that by using our chain nose pliers and bend these little ends of wire down, and we're going to put them through our first circle that we created. So with our chain nose pliers, or if you have them bent chain nose pliers, well, we're going to bring those short ends of wire down through the circle, bringing them back around towards themselves so that they are folded over. Once you have the wire pulled through the circle and you have that bend started, we're then going to do one end of wire at a time, and I would recommend doing one at a time and not just putting your plier over both of the ends of wire, as you will have more control if you do one side and then the other. Once the ends of wire are secured and the ring is closed, we will then place it onto the ring mandrel to correct its shape. With the ring circular, we also want the circles to be circular. So we're going to go back with our nylon jaw pliers, gently squeezing the circles from side to side to kind of press them more into a rounded shape as the twists of the wire seem to pull a little bit and create more of an oval shape for these circles, so using the nylon jaw pliers helps with this. And now we have completed the ring. I really hope you enjoyed creating this ring with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.